Hey, Eatable fans, just checking the live feed. Gonna do a sound check. Eh, thanks, Castlevania. All right, so as you can see from the video I just did, using this little piece right here makes all the difference in the world. If you don't even add the base in the bottom and just do the pole 4.5 inches, it solves the majority of your problems. And you got to bend his legs a little more to make it work, so it sits a little bit funny. But that was the main issue, was this head right here. Now, I wish I had made these just a little bit shorter. When I made these on the computer, they kind of got bent during the printing process. I'm not sure what happened. But you can see I kind of designed this brick layout so it would look kind of cool for like it sitting on something. I went to make one giant one that covers the whole bottom, but it would not fit on my print base. So I made two smaller ones, one for the front, one for the back, which works out good because then it slides into the Snake Mountain better against the wall easier. So there you go. There it is. And so that did the trick. All right, so I'm here for questions and answers if you guys have any about the throne, about how it works and fits. Let's see how it looks against the table. There we go. That looks just about right. Actually, did he have the table this way in the cartoon or this way? That way seems kind of dangerous with those spikes like that. I mean, he stands up too quick, he's going to have a new belly button. So I thought it was this way with all the bad guys sitting in the sides of the walls like that. But that just seems awfully dangerous for him to stand up and look in there. All right, the questions are flowing, and let's take a look at them. Andrew said, that's an awesome throne. I wish they sold it separately. I may have to make one. There's a guy in Canada that made some really cool ones, and I kind of wish I would have got those. Yeah, Craig, I actually already tasted it. It tastes like those little candy corns that you get at on Halloween. So, I bet you soon you'll probably see some thrones for sale coming out of China. It's like they always have extra parts, and I am sure somebody's going to cast this thing eventually. It is huge. It's going to be kind of hard to cast, but I wonder if my friend at Plastic Curves is going to end up casting it or not. She's probably going to want someone to donate there so she can cast it, and usually if you donate it, she'll give you extra special things. So, hey Red Hood, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. So obviously when I am going to set this up, I'm usually not into Filmation stuff as much as most people, even though a lot of this is Filmation based. So I am probably going to use my regular Skeletors for this, and this is my go-to one right here. So let's see how he looks in there. We'll put his Havoc staff in his hand, and we'll just set him on the throne, bend his knees, and just tuck him right in there. And there we go. So that's how he'll look. Very cool. There has been a lot of different bone thrones on eBay. The coolest one I saw was the one that did not have the real fur. The guy in Canada made it, and it was really cool looking. The real fur kind of scares me because it's dust and everything. Yeah, that beast man. Get out of the way. Yep. The Filmation one's cool, but being they stopped the line in the middle, I kind of was like, you know, I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things where it's like I don't want to start collecting the Filmation stuff because they didn't make all of them. If they would at least made Ram Man, I would have been all for it. But since they didn't make Ram Man, I'm like, yeah, I'm not a Filmation fan totally for the figures. All right, so sorry about that. I did grab this to show you a stand-in throne. So this is a throne that I had before we had this one. I use this for my stand-in throne, and it's really cool. I forget what figure it came with, but it does the trick nicely. So if you can't get the bone throne that they have, This one is a great fill-in as well. I actually did ask my friend at Plastic Curves to cast this one. She said she would not because it's so big. Now, again, he's got the same sort of problems. He won't bend far enough to fit in there. But when you get him in there, you don't really notice he's not totally on the seat. So, there you go. All right. Sorry, you guys' questions are coming in. I'm not even reading them. Hold on, let me get back to them. Let me get this back in place. I'd like to get myself one of these. Oh, buy it separately. I already read that one. I've seen a couple different. Yep, read that one. I'd love to get my hands on a. Okay, read that one. Read that one. I'll have to check some Bone Thrones out. What I'll do is, if you guys want, I will check out some and put some links in here for you guys. Like I said, there's some really cool ones. My friend Brian got a really nice one that's really cool too. And so I was going to get one, and I saw they were going to have it with the castle, and I thought, oh, cool. I don't need to buy that one anymore. But now I kind of wish I would have, just because of the way this one fits. A furry Ottoman. You have to prop his feet. That's funny. Yeah, I should get some kind of footrest for him. Just something to put his legs up on. That'd be hilarious. If you did that, you wouldn't have to raise this at all, because now his legs are sticking straight out. Well, if you take him off the extra stand, believe it or not, his legs don't go down very far. That's how he sits without it. And then, of course, you try to push the table up. It will work, but now he's straddling the table on both sides. I do have Drago Man. I got some videos showing some of the new head I made for him. Hey, Toy Galactic and Fun. Let's see. Yep, we're cool with the footstool. Oh yeah, Filmation Merman. He was pretty cool looking. I actually liked him as a fun one. So what race is Skeletor Keldor? This is an interesting one. If you go to the mini comics, he comes from a different dimension, and he was a skull guy to start with. If you go by the 2000X cartoon, he's Gar, and Gar races are blue. So if you go by that, he's actually a Gar race, and that's why he was blue. But if you go to the original storyline that was after the mini comics, but before they jumped to Filmation, it was that he's like the undead, and that's why he's a skull face, and he's blue because that's what your skin looks like when it doesn't have any oxygen. So he turned blue from lack of oxygen because he's dead, kind of thing, or half dead. And other people have storylines where he turned blue from the magic he used while he was Keldor, and eventually, after being a Caucasian Keldor for a long time, and using the dark arts, it slowly turned him blue, and then until eventually, from using it so much, he turned into a skull face. And that's another storyline for it. So you got different storylines. But, yep, Gar is what most people go by now. Yep, and some storylines he's half Gar, because him and King Rando are brothers in some storylines. So it depends which storyline you're looking at. If you go look at this comic Quest for Keldor, that shows that he's potentially Randor's brother. So, yeah. Yep, make it into a recliner. That'd be funny. Well, then why is Prince Adam different in the Origins 2-pack than the one Filmation had in the Sky Slide? Because the 2-pack is based on the comic book, and it's based on the old DC comics. So the blue vest is actually a DC comic thing, not a Filmation thing. So that's a different comics than I was talking about. And I said the comics I was referring to is the mini comics, and that's the 4 little books that came with the He-Man figures in the very beginning when he first got them. However, it's really cool to see the rest of his race. If he's connected both halves of the Power Sword brought him to Eternia. That would have been cool. Yep, a whole bunch of Skeletor minions running around. Then it would just Look like all these Skeletors. Ah, coming to attack. Do you think we need Buzz Off in Origins? No. But I'm sure other people feel different. As you guys know, those who watch my videos all the time, I have my top 11, and Buzz Off's not in my top 11. So, great question. When I was younger, I thought Skelecons from the comics were Skeletor's people. That's actually kind of funny, and I often wonder kind of where that came from. I imagine Skelecons were made by magic and some kind of animal mixture because of their heads, the way they're kind of elongated. They kind of have that beast kind of look to them. Like, so I figured that's where they kind of came from. Why can Cringer talk, but other animals can't? So this is kind of a fun question. I believe Cringer could not talk before Adam got the power of Grayskull. I think once Adam turned him into Battle Cat, he was able to speak, and for some reason he kept the ability to talk when he turned back into Cringer. So what's kind of interesting about that is you would think other people would be like, what the heck, your cat can talk? You know, but I think it's just convenience, kind of like Scooby-Doo, how he kind of says some words and kind of talks a little bit. I think it's the same kind of deal, just to help kids understand what the cat's thinking or talking. It always bugged me that Cringer could talk. Battle Cat talking is strange, but not as strange, because obviously he's been endowed with the magic power of Grayskull. So it makes sense he should be able maybe to talk, or at least have telepathy with He-Man. But can I purchase that table? Not this one. It came with the castle, and I'm not selling it by itself. But I imagine someone's probably going to have to cast this or make copies of it. It is really cool. Or who knows, maybe Super7 might release some kind of pack in the future if they're able to, or Mattel or somebody. That would be cool. Yep, the Origins He-Man is really cool. I am actually really enjoy those figures. I'm not going to get a ton of them, like I was mentioning before, because I'm focusing on classics. In fact, in the mail today, I got the last classic I needed to complete my collection, and it was a King Grayskull bronze, the bronze one of the first figures ever released. Wow. My friend Brian says actually there's a bunch of different creatures that talk to you guys. Haven't watched Team in a while, laughing out loud. And Cringer used to talk before he got transformed. Excellent point, Brian. So, there you go. My knowledge is limited. And I'm not really a Filmation guy. I did see the cartoons as a kid, and I haven't gone back and watched some of them just for references and stuff, but you guys know 2000X is where I really love the cartoons, and of course I love the old mini comics. Those are my two things. Yep, the Mega Constructs do look cool. Excellent. Toy Galactic is going to actually make his own faker. All right, when you finish your faker, find me on Facebook and send me pictures. The way to find me is he-bro.com. Click the Facebook link and it'll take you to my Facebook. Again, that's he-bro.com. Yep, I do have that giant dragon. I have the green and the red. It's funny, my granddaughter used to sleep in this room and she'd come visit, and it used to scare her, all the dragons and stuff, so I had to move them before she would go to bed at night sometimes. It's kind of funny. Well, after a while she got used to them, so it's okay. And then we got the green one, and so one day I swapped it out and didn't tell her and hid the red one. And she came in, hey, your dragon turned green. It was kind of funny, but let's see. Someone mentioned Bo was surprised that Cringer can talk, but his owl talked. Well, you know, birds do talk. It's not too surprising, but yeah, for owls it is. You should try it on your. Should try it on your good at that stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for Faker to come out. Like I said, I'm not really attached to the Origins. I am probably going to get my top 11 and a few more. Mostly these are going to be used for the grandkids to protect my classics. So the grandkids can then play with these. I'll probably have that Castle Grayskull on pre-order, and that will go to the grandkids too. Basically, they'll just be figures they can pull out and play with at my house. And that way then hopefully they'll leave my classics alone, and they'll have their own batch of figures to play with. Yep, and this is that's 80s version Hebrew. So someone said we need an Origin Snake Mountain. That would be cool to get. What's the name of the yellow gorilla? And why is he monkey? The yellow gorilla, what was his name? Oh, I cannot remember his name. I do have him, but I forget what his name is. If somebody knows his name, post it on here. Someone says, yeah, protect the classics at all costs. Yep. I made a mistake of buying my granddaughter lots of classics. I made her custom She-Ras. I got her the Star Sisters. I got her a whole bunch of really cool classics. And she just did not appreciate them. And like she cut up She-Ra's sword to make the point sharper. And when she ended up moving, she ended up leaving a whole bunch behind, you know. And it was kind of crazy. I don't think she understood the value of them. And so I stopped giving her the She-Ra figures because it was just killing me to see, you know, them just tossed around that way. That'd be so cool if they made a Crystal Castle, an Eternia playset that was made for classics. Can you imagine how big the Eternia playset would be? I mean, this thing's monstrously huge. And this was smaller than the Eternia playset. Because you can see the original, right? The original one was like 2/3 of the size of the Eternia Center Tower. So if that's the case, if this was 2/3 the size of the Eternia Central Tower, the Central Tower would go up beyond my blinds up there for the height. That would be crazy. Someone else said they bought some for their grandkids too. They're staying at Papa's house. Yep, that's what I'm planning too. I'm actually not going to give them to them. I think that's kind of a crazy thing to say, hey, I bought you this gift, but you can't take it home. So instead, I'm going to buy them for myself and then let them play with my figures at our house, which are really set aside for them anyway. In fact, I got something for my grandson. He likes The Mandalorian, so I got him this giant baby Yoda. But again, it's the same thing. I'm going to keep him as call mine and say, hey, can you babysit my child? I know it's not really Yoda. It's the child. But everyone keeps calling it Baby Yoda just because it's easy to figure out what I'm talking about. But what's crazy is when I got this, it didn't have any feet. It's just a stub on the bottom. He's got these cool plastic hands and these really cool eyes. You know, but no feet. And I think it's so it would look cool in the box. But once you pull them out of the box with no feet, it was like, what the heck? So I kind of wish they would have stuck little plastic feet on him. But I know he's going to have a blast when he comes over here carrying this around and taking care of it like a baby. So I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of curious to see what he does with it. It'll be kind of fun. Hopefully he comes over sooner than later. So that'll be cool. Hey, All Music fan. Thanks for joining us, man. What you missed was me retrofitting this throne to fit Skeletor in it. So if you have a chance, go back and watch that video. We found the biggest problem with it was this head was leaned over too far. And so when you went to put your figure in there, the head would block him from sitting in there correctly. So I added a 4.5-inch piece of plastic from a coat hanger I cut, and that forced the head up, and then the figures fit in there better. Then I also added a 10 millimeter chunk of plastic that I made on my 3D printer. It looks like bricks for a base to raise it up just a little bit as well. So that's what you missed. Go back, check out the video. I kind of walk you through it. Okay, as many origins as I can. A lot of my original figures have broken legs. So I have a video on how to fix the legs. Two ways. One is to get those little pieces to replace the leg bands on the inside. The other way is to use the O-ring method. I wouldn't use the O-ring method anymore because those little pieces are only $1 a piece if you were to buy them. So, and they're pretty easy to do once you learn them. It is a cool looking throne. I think the Super7 did a great job designing it. Just a bad job on the height of it. If they would have just made it a little bigger all the way around, I wonder if they shrunk it to make it fit inside the floors. After this video, I'm going to turn my Snake Mountain around and see how it fits in there with this being in there and this, to see if maybe that's the reason why they shrunk it down, was to fit between the floors. Also looking forward to the Imagine Next figures, really hoping they expand them and make smaller ones. They seem to fit in that line perfectly. The Imagine X would be cool. Shout out to me, Raymond. Hey, thanks for joining, man. I'm not going to say why you're here because he says don't tell. Only a few months ago, the only He-Man figures were classics. Yeah, I know, it's crazy. I mean, we got all different kinds now. We have Loyal Subjects. We have the Mega Constructs. We got the Origins. We got those little mini He-Man figures. We got the smallest figures in the world. So many figures are coming out now. It's just crazy. And then also we got the Master line coming out soon. I mean, that's going to be so cool once that Master line comes out. So I can't wait to see what they look like. Hopefully they're cool. I have not checked out the new Golden books. I have them in my Christmas list. Hopefully somebody will get them for me. We'll see. Yeah, I'm hoping the new show is really causing it. Here's what's crazy. I don't know how many of you guys go to He-Man.org, but Val Staples, he is a cool guy where he actually is, I believe, one of the people who really pushed for He-Man figures to come back. And then, of course, the Four Horsemen designed that one figure they showed off, which was the first classics, because they just wanted to design something for the fun of it. And then, of course, they also went and made the 2000X figures, too, and they wanted to redesign them and remake them. But, you know, I think the reason why we got the commemorative figures was because of He-Man.org and all the, you know, all the stuff going around with that and the petitions and everything else. So, Val Staples, if you're out there and you're watching this today, man, thank you so much for pushing all those years so we could have all these cool figures now. Because I really believe he was not pushing and wasn't doing the He-Man.org and doing the, you know, the comics and everything else he did and the power cons and all that stuff, I don't think he would have had the same thing we have today. So I think it's so cool that he did all that. Do you think Masterverse will be the best line ever made? Jay, unfortunately, I do not. I think the line is going to suffer all kinds of problems because it's so inexpensive. I think they priced themselves so low that we're going to have paint apps, other issues, and it's just not going to be the line that we would like. I would have rather have made them $40 a figure instead of $25 a figure and got good paint apps, good articulation. I mean, the Origins have some great features. Don't get me wrong. The Origins figures, I think, are made very well. One feature I wish they would have added to the Origins is a bicep cut right here. Because when you move the arms, it just looks strange when you try to get the arm to move the way you want because the bicep's not facing the right way. And if it moved here, it would look so much more aesthetically pleasing. Now, I know these are made for kids, so that's why they did it that way. But it's just, you know, that one articulation point would have made a huge difference on how these figures looked when they're fighting, battling, and holding weapons and stuff. Right now, it looks like they're a little spastic when you have something in their hand, like they're like when he put his Havoc staff in there, because his biceps facing the wrong direction compared to his arm. So if that could move too, that would have been really cool. Especially when he gets in these, you know, I don't know, it just looks really weird and odd. But there you go. All right, let's look at some more questions. Okay, but I'm the only one who didn't really care for what the Masters of the Universe, the way the Masters of the Universe ended. I wish they would have made him a good Skeletor and another He-Man. I don't know. Yep, they could have done something. They could have made, a really cool end of the line 2000X He-Man. Something like this for homage for all the people that really like this style. That'd have been so cool if they would have made this figure for everybody, and made him just really good. That'd have been awesome. I would have loved it. And a 2000X Skeletor. Yes, I do have mine, but, I would have loved to get an official one instead of just my customs. That'd have been cool. And everyone could have had one too. Let's see. That Masters line should be pretty awesome. It should be pretty close to the details of classics, but at a $20 price point. I really hope you're right, Night Traxxas, but we'll see. I'm afraid. I fear the wind. Do you collect Funko Savage World DC Prime Age? I did get some, but I decided just to stop. Mostly I used them for customs. I would chop up pieces I needed, and that was about it. As you guys saw, I used it to make my custom Mumra. I used the head from it and made a Mumra that would work with the classics Lion-O before they actually said they were going to make it from Super 7. But that's pretty much about it. Do you think the Origins line will get really big? Yeah, I surely do. I think it will get big. I'm hoping that it, takes off because, it is pretty cool. McFarlane DC, G.I. Joe Classics, etc. are killing it with their 6-inch, 7-inch lines, so it's possible a 20-inch price point. Well, what's crazy is those G.I. Joes, those look so cool, but again, the scalpers are killing it. I hate it. I thought I'd get a couple of them just for nostalgia sake, and I went back to look, and you can only buy them from, third parties now who have bought them at the store and then jacked the price up so high. It's like, really? Come on now. So that does really frustrate me. All right. Thanks, Castlevania Skeletor, for joining us. So let's see. By the power of Grayskull, where has this channel been all my life? Hey, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it, Arcade Chaos. Yeah, I've been around for a long time. Subscribe. That way you can see my stuff. All right. Well, it's like people are dropping off, and so I'm going to go ahead and go as well. You guys, thanks for joining me tonight. I'll try to do live videos after my main videos whenever I can. I know you guys seem to like that. So I think it's kind of fun, too, to connect with you guys and see what's going on. So keep subscribing. Share with your friends. Let them know about the cool bone throwing fix they can do. So, who's the Afro guy? This is Hebro. It's what the channel's named after. Hebro. And I'm going to have an interview that someone's going to give me pretty soon. I'll explain the whole story. If you want to know more about him, go to he-bro.com, he-bro.com. And it does talk about some things. Yes, he was made from a Clamp Champ figure, but I didn't know who he was at first. So, yep, the peach cheeks would have been cool. I would have liked that too. Yep. All right. Oh, you never got any notifications till now. Well, that's really strange. I'm glad you got it in time to join us. So thanks for joining. So, like I said, subscribe to me now, and I'm going to have an interview talking about Hebro and his whole entire storyline. My son's girlfriend has volunteered to interview me. I just haven't been lazy. She's even asked, when are you going to do that interview? It's like, oh, I got to get around to that. So look for the interview. She's going to ask you some questions and stuff, and I'll be answering them. And we're going to do it via Zoom, and then I'll put the video here on YouTube for you guys to see. So, Yes, it is custom made. Definitely. It's made from a clamp champ. All right. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Like, subscribe, share how to fix the throne from the other video I posted earlier today, and I will see you guys next video. Bye now.